Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are learning Terraform for cloud and DevOps, one question you will face is how do we avoid the repeating the same values again and again in the Terraform? And how do we display important information like EC to public IP after infrastructure is created? So in today's free training video, I'll clearly explain two very important Terraform concepts, Terraform locals and Terraform output. So in day three session, we are going to learn about these two things. These concepts are widely used in the real DevOps project to make Terraform code clean and reusable and professional. I will also show real example using the AWS resources. If you want to become the cloud and DevOps engineer, this video will be very useful for you. Let's start with Terraform locals. So let me log into that server. I think I have already logged into the server. Let me open the folder called Terraform. Let's open the Visual Studio Code. Let's close everything. So we'll talk about what is Terraform locals first. So Terraform locals are used to define the temporary variables inside the Terraform configuration. They help simply code, avoid the repetition, and improve the readability. So let's see that the basic syntax for Terraform locals. So here is the basic syntax like locals name equal to value and use it like local dot name. So we should need to pass it local and the name. This is a standard you are mentioning in the Terraform code. So now let's jump into the session here. The server. Let's create a file called main.tr. So what I'm going to do, this is a simple example. So you can write it down local, okay, and environment equals to dev. So this is a simple example and resource. Okay. So what I'm trying to do it here. So I'm going to create the resource S3 bucket. Okay. This is our local reference name app underscore bucket. So if you're able to see it, my app -11 I have given. Okay. So this is a unique name should be there bucket. That is why I mentioned any name here. Okay. And local dot environment. So earlier I told you the how local it will works. So this will comes local first and environment. That means local environment. So whatever you have given the value, it will come. Okay, let's go and create it so that we'll get to know how bucket it is going to be created. Sorry, Terraform init. And let's go to that AWS console and S3 bucket. Okay, so here there is no bucket, right? So let's see that Terraform apply. So what it will happen here, the bucket name it is going to be created, my app -1111144, okay, and the dev. That is what it will show. Okay, Terraform. Once it is created, we'll get to know. So the bucket name and the environment variable should be there. Environment name. Because in the every company they are going to use it multiple environment, right? So according to that, we are creating here. So if you're able to see it, see, are you able to see it? The name. Okay. If you want hyphen also, you can able to just make a hyphen. then it is going to be created. Now let's go on Terraform destroy. So this is a simple example for the locals. Let me make it as. So next one, I'm going to using the locals to building the naming standards. So this is a real world example. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the variables, locals, and the resource everything. Now let's go to here. I'm going to just remove everything. I'm not going to create one more variable files. Let it do it one file, but in the live environment or real infrastructure, just create a different variables. So here I'm going to mention the project name and the other one is environment. And here I'm going to use the locals. So locals, how do we use it? You can see it here. So here I'm going to use it local dot name underscore prefix. That is what it is going to be mentioned in the tagging area. Okay. But I am going to mention it here in the name prefix project name. Okay. So this is project name where it is coming. It is coming from the line number 1 variable dot project name. Same thing for environment also. Now let's create a one of the resource for EC2 creations. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to mention the here. So local dot name prefix -b. Okay. So it will take it project name environment -web. That means you can call it as a web server, any of the things. Okay. It should be comes project name and environment. Okay. In the tagging area. Let's Terraform apply. So I'm going to just add the environment here and name I'm going to mention it. Let's make it S. Let's go to that EC2 console. So if you use this kind of things, it is going to be clean, reusable, and enterprise friendly. So that is the reason we're going to use it. Locals. Let's, yeah, are you able to see it? Prod, payment, and web. Okay, the environment ways it is going to be created. Or it should become payment also. That is also we can able to do it. Okay, so this is the correct naming convention. Now let's go on destroy it. Destroy. So environment, okay. So here environment is, I think we have written wrong. That is why. So first it is asking, earlier we have done it right. We should give it different name. So if you take it wrong, it will not take it. So now it will destroy it because the same way I have given, earlier I have given different name, right? And the next one is local with map. So how to use locals as a maps. I'm going to use it for this example for S3 bucket. So local with map, what is it is going to be do? Okay. If we need multiple tagging mechanism, okay, then you can able to use this uh, 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 Terraform at the what we can call it as a maps. Okay, the configuration language map we can able to use it. Using that, we can able to this common tag is going to be applied multiple in the S3 buckets. Let's clear it. Now I'm going to just delete entire thing and I'm going to use. So always the bucket will be unique. I'm going to add it randomly, some name. Next, if you type it, let's go and see it. These two tags, it is attached to the bucket or not. Let's make it as. So this avoids the repeating tags across the resources. So here is our bucket. Okay. And go to properties. Where is that tag option? Okay, I think here where we can see it, the tags. I don't see it here. Yes, I can able to see. Sorry, I think under the properties, but see. So here is a tagging. Now let's go on Terraform desktop. Now let's move on to local with conditional logic. So how to use local as a conditional logic? Let's go to server. Let me remove entire thing. I'm going to use it variable with locals both. So here under the local, I'm going to use it instance type. I think this I have explained it earlier, but that is a different use cases. But here it is going to be asked T3, T2 micro, large, and prod environment, everything. Okay. Now what we are going to do? So we have mentioned under the resource local dot instance type. Okay, if it is prod, these are all the two instance type we can able to use it. Apply. If prod, the T3 large going to be created. Otherwise, if it is small instance, T2 micro. So this is for the grade for the environment based sizing also. Okay, for example, if I type it prod, okay, obviously it will take it T3 dot large. Let's see. Let's go to EC2 section. See, if it is prod, automatically it is taking T3 dot large. If you had given dev, it will go for T2 micro. Now let's go on destroy it. Destroy. For the dev environment, you can try it and let me know if you're facing any issues. Next topic, I'll go with Terraform outputs. So for this, what is the basic syntax? Let me see it. So if you want any of the output, any public IP, instance type, subnet ID, anything if you want, you can able to use it Terraform input. Okay. So the basic syntax is output and the name, value, and we need to mention the expression. So this is our access format. We already know resource type, resource name, and attribute. So now let me see one of the example, simple example for EC2 public IP. Okay, here I'll mention it plot. Let's wait for to destroy the instance. Let's go and verify it. What is the status here? Yeah, it is shutting down. It is terminated. Yeah, let's go and clear the session. So let's see that simple example. How do we get the public IP? So let me remove entire thing. So this is our standard EC2 creations output, right? Okay. Now we want output of the public IP. Okay, how do we get it? Okay. So here the resource name AWS underscore instance web. Okay. In the value, we need to give it AWS underscore instance. Okay. Under that dot web under public IP. Okay. This output, we can verify it in the documentation. What are the output we can able to get it. Let's see that why it was disconnected. It is reconnecting. Yeah. So here, if you're able to see it, okay. So under the AWS instance, okay, we need to give it AWS instance, okay, and web. Okay. So those two things we should add it under what output we need. Okay, we need public IP, right? So we are mentioned public underscore IP. Now Terraform apply. So we will get a public IP address. So this is going to be create the output data from the instance details. So we can say it here also, public IP address. Okay, see, we're able to see the public IP. No, I don't want it to need only one. I need multiple, right? How do we do it? Okay. So output multiple values. So we'll get output multiple values. Let's go to here. So let me remove. So I want public IP and instance type and instance ID also. Then you can able to use. Let's wait for it to test it. Then we can test it out. Our output, yeah. Terraform apply. Yes. Let's go to, I think let's wait for here the output. Okay. See, are you able to see it? So we're getting a type, public IP, and instance ID, everything. So then let's destroy. Let's make it as. Now let's move on to output list with the example. So now we are we want multiple EC2 machine. For the multiple EC2 machine, we need public IP. Okay. So how do we do it? So let's clear it. So I'm not going to talk about count as of now, but as of now, we required three instance. Okay, I'll talk about count how it is works in the next sessions. So as of now, three EC2 machine I required, and for all the three EC2 machine, I need public IP or private IP or instance side, anything, right? So let me apply it. Let me say that we are getting all the public IP address. See, we are able to see the all the public IP address of the all the EC2 machine. So this is how we can able to use it. Let's destroy it. So now let me talk about output from the data source. So using the data source, how do we get the details? So now let me clear it. So I wanted to know who is the current AWS caller identity, or I can say that the account ID. Okay. So I want one of the AWS account number. How do we get it? Okay. So this is a simple one. Data, we want AWS caller identity, the current one, and output, we should get it account ID. Okay. Now let's run it. So this output where we can able to use it, useful for the dynamic naming. From there it is going to be help. If it is required any of the other resource, the output, then this output file is very important. Let's wait for here. Yeah. Now I'm going to apply it. We wanted to see the account number of AWS, but we can do it many things. But again, you need to go to see the account ID. We are able to see. So always refer the documentation so that how we can able to use it will get done. Terraform destroy. Let's make it as. So output command, using it, what are the things? So we can get it. You can just use Terraform output command, okay, to get any of the resource, okay. And if you need any JSON format, also as of now there is no resource that is showing. But if you need any other like any JSON format, then you can able to use it. So this is all about the variables and locals. Sorry, locals versus output. We can say that variables versus locals because we're using both, right? Sometimes we're using a variables, locals, output. Okay, so let's see that what is difference. So if you're able to see it in the future, input to Terraform. Okay, that is, let's move on to locals. Yeah. Let's move on to future. So if you're able to see it, input to Terraform variables, it is required, locals not required. Internal computations, so locals it is useful. Show after apply is the output it is required. You can see it. And shared across modules, output is required. So this is the difference between locals, output and variables. So this is all about today's session. We'll catch up on the next session.